What happens after you accept an offer on your loved one's home? That's our topic. We'll get started right after this.
Accepting an offer on a loved one's home is a milestone step, but it's not the end of the process. There are several steps that need to be completed prior to closing the sale.
And understanding what comes next can help you feel confident through this process. Hi, I'm Kim Ward. I am a real estate broker in beautiful San Diego County and a certified probate real estate advisor. And I work with my daughter.
I'm Ashley Rivera, and we're Probate and Trust Help, a real estate company that helps executors, administrators, and trustees to prepare, market, and sell their loved ones' homes here in San Diego. Once an offer is accepted, the next phase is the inspection phase. This is where the buyers may choose to have a general inspection, and once they've had their general inspection, they may choose to have several others. Many times in San Diego County, buyers choose to have a mainline inspection with their general inspection because a lot of the homes in San Diego are older and have older plumbing.
And what the main line is, it's really the sewer line that goes from the home out to where the city's lines are. And that's what they're scoping with a camera so they can see if there's any breakage or tree roots or anything like that in the main line.
During this inspection phase, the buyers are taking a closer look at the condition of the property before they prepare their request for repairs.
And what usually happens is after that general inspection and typically the mainline inspection, usually within a couple days of each other, the buyers will then determine if they want to have further inspections such as a roof inspection, electrical inspection, or foundation. And once they're complete with all of their inspections, they will, as Ashley said, draft a request for repair with their agent, and they will include all of the reports with that request for repair that is submitted to us as the listing agent, and then we talk it over with the seller.
Once we receive the request for repairs, many times we will discuss what items they are asking for and determine that the best course of action is to provide a credit to the buyers. So for example, they might be asking for a new hot water heater, or they might be asking for the HVAC system to be replaced.
Heating and air conditioning.
And that's a semi-large request, right? But we will discuss a possible credit to the buyers to cover some of the cost or potentially the cost of having that item repaired or replaced.
Right, and in a water heater situation, everything's become way more expensive than it used to be. But let's say, for instance, it would be $1,600 to have it replaced. We would negotiate less than that. So we might negotiate giving the buyers a $1,000 credit towards the water heater, especially if it's still working. You know, a lot of times they're just old, and that way then the buyer would take on that responsibility, not the estate, to have it repaired.
Exactly. That prevents any repercussions later on down the line of the buyers coming back and saying, hey, something went wrong with this repair that the seller paid for. If the buyers are responsible for the repair, then the buyers would be handling any potential issues that arise later on. Through that inspection phase, we will ensure that the time frame is as short as possible. The buyer is going to need enough time to complete their inspections and do their due diligence, but also they don't need the standard amount of time, which is 17 days, to complete these inspections. 7 to 10 days is typically what we aim for.
Exactly, because in the purchase agreement, it defaults to 17 days. That's 2.5 weeks that a property could be off the market. We negotiate typically, like Ashley said, 7 days. And what's important about shortening those timelines is because we don't want to be off the market for 2.5 weeks. And in our experience, which is pretty substantial, 90% of the time the transaction goes forward once those contingencies of inspection are removed. So we wanted a short timeline.
We had a client recently named William who had a buyer who was requesting that the roof be replaced in their request for repair. This really caught him off guard. He felt like that was too big of an ask. So through the negotiation process, we discussed his options.
What we did was look at the inspection report with William and determine, yes, this roof is kind of at the end of its usable lifespan. The roof inspector said it had 3 to 5 years left. And what we did was negotiate a credit towards a new roof, and it was about a third of what a roof would cost because that buyer was going to use that money towards the new roof probably 5+ years down the road, to be, completely honest. And that 1/3 of the cost would go to that roof that they would enjoy for the next 25 or 30 years.
William agreed that this was a reasonable option, and we then sent over his response to the request for repair to the buyers, who also agreed and signed off on the request.
And as we said earlier, 90% of the time, actually 90+% of the time, the transaction moves forward towards being closed and the property is sold. Mm-hmm. And when we did close, William was very, very happy with how we negotiated for him and the estate, not giving away tens of thousands of dollars to the buyer.
After the inspection contingency is complete, one of the things that we've seen come up a lot, especially in the last few years here in San Diego County, is issues with the buyers obtaining insurance. Mm. So when we negotiate our offer, our response to the buyers, we usually will add something in there about them obtaining insurance and providing proof that they've obtained insurance within a certain number of days.
Another thing that we talk with our clients about is that unexpected issues can come up with the buyer's financing. Sometimes they're getting a gift from a family member for their down payment, or sometimes their agent doesn't tell them that they told them not to go out and buy a brand new car, and that could affect their financing. But that doesn't mean when these things happen that the deal just falls apart. It just means that we have to step in and handle these issues in a professional way that can help the whole transaction to move forward.
Right. So what Kim means by that is that our job as your agent is to represent you and make sure that this transaction moves forward smoothly. Having the first transaction be canceled is not ideal, and so we oftentimes will take whatever steps necessary to get the whole process moving forward.
And it's rare that we actually have a transaction fall apart because we have a system in place and we have the knowledge and the skill to move forward. And the goal is to continue to move forward, representing the estate to the best of our ability, mm-hmm. and get the property sold.
Mm-hmm. We'll also communicate with all parties. We ensure that the buyer's agent, their lender, you as the seller are all informed about what the situation is. We're here to represent you, and we want to make sure that everyone's on the same page with all potential issues that may arise.
And all of that, it makes it easier for you to make decisions with more confidence all through this process.
Mm-hmm. If you have a burning question about what happens when accepting an offer, please put it in the comment section below. We love to answer your comments, and it also helps guide us through what the next videos may be that come out for us.
And we want to thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell button to be notified of our weekly video, because you're not going to want to miss any of them.